of love. It's interesting to me because this was, the Valentine's Day massacre um, it happened in France, and I don't know how Valentine's Day became the day of love. Maybe our guests will let us know. Hi, I'm Mark Alyn. Welcome to Mark Alyn Cooks. We're going to make a very simple and elegant dinner, breakfast, brunch, lunch dish. And we're going to start with a toast with our guests in just a couple of moments. Uh, a couple of weeks ago, I met some really nice people, the Levys, and we'll find out more about the Levys and 23 cookbooks later and over 50 years of love. We'll find out about that as Mark Alyn Cooks takes to the air. And welcome to Mark Alyn Cooks. I am Mark Alyn, right here, and we've got a great show planned for you. A couple of weeks ago, Melissa's Produce had an event, and I went to it. And Robert Schuler, who was on the show a couple of weeks ago at from Melissa's, kindly offered to provide us with our produce for our show. So we thank Robert, and he gave us tomatoes. He gave us onions. We've got jalapeno peppers, some bell pepper, garlic, and this is all fresh. We were cutting into the tomatoes earlier, and they smelled like tomatoes because a lot of times when you go to the market, they don't smell like tomatoes. All right. Thank you very much, Melissa's. We'll be talking about you each and every week here on Mark Alyn Cooks, as long as we have produce, I guess. Anyway, we're going to go to far, far away. We're going to go to Woodland Hills, California, which is in the San Fernando Valley. We're going to bring in our friends Fay and Yakir Levy, and welcome to our show, Fay and Yakir.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank
it's
you.
good to be with you.
We have a lot in common, you and the two of you and Carol and me. We have similar backgrounds, and we'll be talking about that a little bit. We're going to be making an Israeli dish today, but it's really a Middle Eastern dish, isn't it, Faye?
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
It's popular. It's popular in a variety of names around the Mediterranean Sea. But in Israel, when I grew up there, I was born and raised in Israel, and it wasn't as popular when I was a child. But it became more and more, and now it's part of Israeli cuisine. If you ask Israelis, shakshuka, of course they consider it as part of the menus in Israel. So it comes in a variety of ways as well. You have green shakshuka. You have even a vegan shakshuka with falafel.
Well, if you are vegan and if you are vegetarian, we will be cooking our shakshuka today with eggs, but you can replace that with falafel. You can also replace it with egg replacement, and it'll cook in the sauce. So that would be one way too. Faye, let's before we start cooking, let's toast. So I'm going to toast the two of you on 50 plus years of love, right? When is your anniversary?
Thank you. In September.
September. It'll be how many years?
Well, this September it will be 54.
Wow. Congratulations. And
Thank you.
to love and to life, right?
Thank you.
Same with you and Carol.
I am drinking Livener from Three Spirit again. We're doing another dry show next week, I think. Actually, I'm not sure. We're doing Indian food next week. We may be drinking some beer. We'll find out. All right. Before we begin cooking, Faye, can you tell the story? Carol, I'm going to need you to read
Hello,
that.
Fay, and congrats to you both.
Ah,
Hashtag aspirations.
got
Julie
it.
Storks Busha.
Got it. And oh, that's from Julie. Oh,
Thank
Julie.
you, Julie.
Yeah. Um, Julie will be on the show at the beginning of March, actually. And thanks for watching, Julie. She's got a great condiment. It's called slausa. And I fell in love with it at the Fancy Food Show a couple of weeks ago. All right. How did you guys meet?
Well, the first time I was in Israel with a group of 17-year-olds, and we were at a swimming place, like a natural park where they have a swimming hole, and I saw him, and he looked so gorgeous. I just wanted to see if I could say something that would make him smile. And it's funny because I never used to talk to boys, um, first, but somehow I had to.
Wow. I think that's true. Were you the lifeguard, Yakir? Or just,
Actually, I was for the guides in the group. I was the devil. I mean, because they did not want girls in the group to talk to Israelis. They didn't want any trouble, so they came and tried to whisk her away, but not before she took my address, and we corresponded
you,
for a year.
you came back to the U.S.? You're from Washington, D.C., Faye.
Uh, yeah, I went back to the U.S. to finish my last year of high school. And then I went to Israel to go to Hebrew University in Jerusalem.
And I have to say that Faye is not only the author of 23 books, she's graduated from culinary school in France. Um, she taught at the school, she designed the curriculum at the school,
Yeah,
and she has a degree in sociology. All of that.
yeah.
So you're a people person, aren't you, Faye?
I guess so. Maybe Yakir is more of a people person than I am.
Well, you talk to me. I'm a
Well,
people.
yeah. Well, we have a lot to talk about.
We do. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to start cooking. I'm going to have Faye direct me a little bit. If you have a comment at all, please join us right now. We are live here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, um, and LinkedIn. I forgot where we were. Okay. I'm going to start by, I think, pouring a little bit of olive oil in. Oh, I know what I need to ask. When you're cooking, Faye, do you do measurements or you just kind of eyeball it?
It depends. If it's a dish I've made a lot of times, I just eyeball it. If I'm writing a recipe that people need to follow, I measure.
Got it. And we're going to have Faye's shakshuka recipe up on YouTube.com at Mark Allen Cooks Your Dinner. We'll have that up later on today, maybe early in the morning. All right, I'm going to turn around some way here, and I'm going to heat the pan, and I'm going to pour in some olive oil. Now, the recipe I think calls for two or three tablespoons. I always over oil. Is that enough?
Yeah, it should be fine.
Okay. I need to spread that around a little bit. That's what fingers are for, except for on hot pans. Okay. So we'll let that heat up. And while we're heating up, when did you know? Was it love at first sight, Faye?
Well, we corresponded for a year, so we could see each other's thoughts and ideas. And besides, well, I was in high school in the U.S. and Yakir was still in Israel.
And
So
So you
So
you
no, it was attraction at first sight, but love grows as you get to know each other.
what is your secret for 50 plus years?
I think try and compromise.
And Yakir, what about your thoughts? Is it because I'll tell you mine.
What is yours?
Yes, ma'am.
I see. I, in a way, I think we agree. I want Faye to be happy. When she's happy, everything's okay. So
Yes.
that's the secret.
Carol's grandfather told me that. He said, "Happy wife, happy life." And he also
Exactly.
said, and he also said, "Yes, ma'am."
And do as you
And then do whatever the hell you want. Okay. Yes, and Julie just noted that when you guys were writing each other, you were writing letters. There was no
Yes,
email, right?
exactly.
Paper.
There was true.
We just, all right. I'm going to add the onions. The onions going first.
Yes, yeah, because if you add the garlic together with the onion, the garlic could burn because onion takes longer to cook than garlic.
Got it. Oh,
And you'll see if the onion absorbs all the olive oil and you need more to cook the peppers, add more.
I'm going to add just a touch more olive oil here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you stir that around. All righty. We are in the process, of course, of developing smell-o-vision so that people at home can smell what we're cooking here. It hasn't worked so far, but we are working on it very, very hard.
Wow.
Okay.
Sounds like a good idea. Yeah. Temp. And you should also then, after you get this right, try to get them to taste as well.
Oh, taste of vision. Why didn't I think of that? Well, that'll be the upgrade. That'll be the upgrade. Um, I wrote in a little promo that I did, video promo, that Yakir, you're the luckiest man in the world because you get to taste everything that Faye cooks. Do you cook at all, or does Faye do the cooking? And in my case, I do most of the cooking, and Carol does the cleanup. When Carol cooks, she also does the cleanup. I'm very lucky that way.
Well, I cook sometimes, but Faye does most of the cooking. But Faye loves it when I cook, and she enjoys my cooking.
Yes, when Yakir cooks, it's a real treat for me. And in fact, that's why when you asked me what would I like for Valentine's Day, I said shakshuka because Yakir often makes it for us.
Ah, and when you, I guess, started dating Yakir, his mother wasn't so excited because you didn't know how about the relationship because you didn't know how to cook. Am I correct?
Exactly. Yes, that's true. I didn't know how to cook at all. I was busy with high school and then the first year of college, and I didn't have time. I really didn't give it much thought. My mother cooked all our meals. She made Ashkenazi Jewish food, and of course Yakir's mother was born in Yemen, so their food was Sephardi, so it tasted completely different to me and very good. And also her shakshuka was different. I first had shakshuka that she made, and she scrambled the eggs. She didn't do it as poached eggs. And that was the way in their family it was made. And later, I didn't see it as poached eggs in tomato sauce until I noticed it at a restaurant.
Wow.
And I guess restaurants do it that way because it's prettier You can see a distinct serving of how many eggs. And then it became popular because of, photos in magazines, scrambled eggs with tomato doesn't look that great, but poached eggs in tomato sauce looks beautiful.
My mother was born in a traditional society. She was born in Yemen, both my parents, but they immigrated when they were kids. So for her, she came with ideas that a woman place is in the kitchen, in the back of the house, basically. But so what is this student? They didn't think that it's important for girls, for women to learn. Fortunately, my sister did not. They didn't think that it was important for her either to study, but she ended up being really a powerful person, and she's so successful. So
What does
like the
she
boy,
do? What does she do?
she's in charge of promotion of a company in Israel that distributes books for kids all over the
Okay.
country.
We
So
need. You should do a cookbook for kids, Faye.
Yeah, well, she does have several in her collection, but that's a good idea.
All right. I think our. Do we need some more oil in that?
Yeah, probably before you add the peppers.
Okay. There's some more. Oh, I'm going to add the garlic now. I think, right?
Yeah,
You
you
think?
can add the peppers and the garlic together.
Okay. Uh, the which peppers? The jalapeno peppers or um,
The bell
the
peppers.
bell peppers? All right.
And And I just want to add, not everyone adds bell peppers, and not everyone even adds onion. The basic is just garlic and tomato.
Got it. I'm going to add the garlic in here now too. Oh,
some add cumin, the spice cumin, into the mixture as well.
Yes, we have that in the recipe.
uh,
Did you hear the
oh,
phone?
I should add the cumin in. Now I
Yeah,
love cumin.
you can wait on the cumin till the vegetables have softened a little.
Okay, and we'll do that. We also have some tomato paste, which is optional, and we'll add that in as well.
You can
Um,
add tomato paste towards the end.
I must ask, you've written 23 books. One book has 1,000 recipes, a
Yeah.
thousand Jewish recipes, which I think is amazing. Now, I also grew up with Ashkenazi food. I prefer Sephardic. My mother made brisket. I never liked it even as a kid. I can remember being at my Uncle Phil's. I must have been 4 years old, and I asked who burnt the meat. They made brisket, right? And my mother-in-law made brisket. I just never. No, my father once barbecued it, and I loved it. So barbecued brisket is good, but
Ah,
right? But the dips and the salads of Sephardic cooking are really great. In fact, as Julie is watching us, her condiment would be great in Sephardic cooking. It's got a punch and really nice. Okay, I'm going to go back and look and see where we're at. I got to tell you, this smells fabulous, Faye. I think everything is softened up.
good. So you can add the tomatoes and cumin.
All right. What about the jalapenos?
Actually, yeah, you can add them now too. Jalapenos don't really need to cook a lot. You can add them now and cook a minute or two and then add the tomatoes.
All right.
And
Oh, that is such a pretty picture. Now, Carol, we forgot the paprika. Um,
And not everyone adds jalapeno. Some people add like cayenne type pepper, or or people with Yemenite origins or Yemenite leanings might add hoog, which is hot pepper garlic condiment. But that it's more something you serve on the side.
right. And you and I and Yakir are going to have some shrub tomorrow.
Oh, good,
Yes,
Good.
we are.
good.
Okay, we've got that. Um, and oh, it smells great. All right, I'm going to add the tomatoes. This is about a pound and a half of tomatoes. I'm going to, let's see, here we go. Pound and a half of tomatoes. I've diced these, um, and they're very fine. Um, they have such a great aroma. I can't begin to tell you. And um, these are plum tomatoes.
Uh-huh.
All right, here we go. And I'm mixing this all up. I prefer to mix
I prefer to mix.
with a wood spoon. Do you have a preference, Faye?
Yeah, I like a wooden spoon too. And plum tomatoes are standard for cooking. They're very convenient, but you can use any tomato. We make shakshuka with whatever tomatoes we have. Large ones, beef steak, even baby tomatoes. We quarter them and cut them up, and I mean cut them in quarters and make shakshuka with them.
Now, one of the things that I did with the tomatoes, I did seed them. Now, when I seed them, I take about 80% of the seeds out. Do you do that as well?
For French dishes, yes, because that's what our French chefs in Paris taught us. But for shakshuka, no, we just put in the whole tomato,
No, I
peel,
should have
seeds.
asked. I should have asked.
That's
Um,
okay. There are different recipes. I mean, I've made it both ways, and it's good both ways. It's a little moister with the juice in it.
yeah, I was going to ask about that. I guess adding the tomato paste will add some liquid to it because the tomato paste will break down a little bit.
Yeah, well, you can mix the tomato paste with a bit of water first.
Ah, got it. We'll do that. Um,
It's always easier to blend in that way.
got it. I'm going to ask Carol to get us a little cup of water, and I have a spoon. I'll get a spoon.
צריך כוס שלמה של מים, צריך כוס שלמה, אל תסתכלי עליי.
Yeah.
תגידי לו, לא
How
צריך
is
כוס
it
שלמה.
looking, Fay and Yakir?
Good, good. Just a tablespoon or two of water with the tomato paste.
Say how much water?
A tablespoon or two.
Got it.
Just enough to make like a smooth blend. Our chefs in Paris did that because the tomato paste blends into things more easily.
Got it. That's going to be too much water, right?
Yes. Yeah, just a little bowl with a.
My tomato paste is still in the can.
Oh, you need a little
Oh,
bowl.
okay.
Carol is giving me a bowl, and um, we're very.
You can
There we go. Thank you, Carol. So I'm going to take about that much tomato paste.
right and
Yeah,
mix in a bowl.
and then add a little water till it makes that. Yeah, that's good. That's perfect.
Okay. And I'll get it nice and smooth. By the way, um, when I can, I buy organic, and uh, I buy this is Whole Foods Market 365. Their tomato paste. It's a little bit less money, but it has a lot of flavor to me, and I think I got now this one I didn't. I usually get it without salt because I
Uh-huh.
think
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
we try to avoid salt as
yeah,
much as
that's
possible.
better. You said the tomato paste from Whole Foods is less money?
Yes.
Huh. That's good to know. And we also, if we're doing Turkish cooking, they have something called pepper paste, which is just like tomato paste, but made with pepper, sometimes hot ones. And it just makes everything delicious.
Ooh. All right, I'm going to add this now. And if, there we go. If you don't like spice and seasoning, you don't have to add the jalapeno, and you can still make this. I have not added in the cumin. I'm going to do that now. Whoa, that. We'll stir that around.
Yes, we learned to love cumin from Yakir's mother. She had a Yemenite spice mixture. She called it soup spice, which was cumin, turmeric, and black pepper.
Ooh,
But she didn't use it only for soup. She put it in just about everything that was savory. And
She
it,
used to
it
make
really wakes up the flavor.
she used to make it herself.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
Yakir mentioned, she would make the mixture herself. She'd buy cumin seeds and pound them. She would buy dried turmeric root and pound it to a powder. And and black
Black pepper.
peppercorns, she would pound them too in a mortar and pestle.
oh, we could add black pepper to this too, couldn't we?
Yes,
And
you can.
Yes.
Neil Grace, who is the poet laureate of the Mark Allen Cook Show, um, has said that international foods unite all people, and we and
Yes.
and into one happy family. And I think that's a great way. Food is the common denominator. We all have to eat, and if everybody came to the table with a different dish, describe their cuisine, I think peace would reign.
You're
Oh,
right. And it really brings people together when you meet someone who's from, let's say, a background that you're not so familiar with. If you show even slight interest in their cuisine, it makes them so happy and gives them a positive attitude towards you.
yes. So what we're going to do is, I've got a bowl here, and I'm going to break the raw egg into the bowl first, and then slip it. Whoops, there we go. And I'm going to do these one at a time. So we're going to go back over to here.
And you make a little space for each egg
Indentation.
in the tomato
Yeah.
mixture.
Yes.
Yeah, like that.
I'm trying to. There's a little pocket right there.
Yeah,
And just
good.
flip it in, right?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And keep the heat on low for now.
Okay, I'll lower that. I'm going to do the other egg. Okay, and we'll slip that into another slot. Now, the tomatoes are broken down, of course, and so
Yeah,
there is more liquid here.
good.
All right.
It's
Now,
fine.
I'll slip that in here. Oof.
הוא עושה את זה בסדר, נמוך, הוא לא מגבוה, שלא תישבר.
It kind of look, if you know, it almost looks like a face. Take that again, Carol. Look, it's almost got. Wait.
The way you did it was the right way, because you didn't drop the eggs from above. I mean, from high above, because
Right.
otherwise they risk breaking. But you lower them as much as possible.
Yes, I think it's all the way down to low. Now, when I grew up, I didn't like eggs because my parents cooked the eggs. Doesn't matter what it was. Um, for breakfast or whatever. The yolk was not runny, and it
Ah,
wasn't right. Do you like runny yolk or a hard yolk?
actually, I like the yolk to be soft and pretty runny, but I learned to like it either way. And sometimes I've had it where the yolk is firm, and that's all right too. But with a dish like this where it's warm, I like the yolk to be soft, and then you can dunk your bread in it, and it's so good.
It's good at this point to cover the eggs or the shakshuka and let the eggs actually kind of bake.
They
I don't
poached.
have. I didn't take out the lid to that pan. Do you know where that is?
It will take longer otherwise, but this
Yes.
way they will get heat from above as well. And but then you have to remove after a few minutes. You have to remove and see if they reach the right
Consistency.
consistency.
Yeah, consistency.
So you're doing two eggs?
Yeah, we're going to do 2 eggs now, and
Mm-hmm.
then we'll do 2 eggs later when we have our dinner.
Uh-huh. Okay.
All right. I was going to say something. Well, you wrote 23 books. Where do you get all of your ideas for all those recipes?
Well, everywhere. When I first moved to Israel, as we mentioned, I didn't know how to cook, and I was eager to learn how. I just didn't have a chance before that. So I got recipes from everyone, from my neighbors. Like I had one neighbor who was from Morocco, and another one who said she had Kurdish background. And as we lived in an apartment building at first, and as we walked up, each floor had different aromas coming from their kitchens, and I just loved that. So, so I learned from my neighbors, from my friends, and at work I was known as the lady who's crazy about recipes because I always wanted to find out how everyone cooked, and sometimes that annoyed the boss who wanted us to get back to what we were doing, which was in that case um, typing little cards for the library's card catalog
Oh
because
my goodness. You're
I
dating
worked
yourself, Faye. You're
yeah
dating yourself.
I worked then at the library of Tel Aviv University.
All right. I'm going to take we have a glass cover, but let's see what it looks like now. Ooh, they're coming along nicely. The white is cooking up.
Yeah, the glass cover is good so you can see what's
That's
happening.
right.
So you mentioned bread, Yakir. I was wondering, is pita a good thing to eat with this, or just a good French loaf?
I think every good bread will be delicious with it. But bread, I think goes with perfectly. But we often eat with it, accompany the shakshuka with Middle Eastern breads, whether they could be pita or they could be Persian breads like sangak or barbari bread, which is thicker, uh, delicious breads. And here we're lucky to have in our neighborhood now, there are bakeries that you can get them hot. When we buy the bread, often by the time we get home, we eat part of it already on the way because it's
Oh
so
yeah.
it smells good, and so that will be a good idea. And I even lavash can flatbread. Lavash can be good too. It's also Persian bread. So so but I would have European breads as well. Will be good with it. Baguette would be perfect.
We we especially me. I love sourdough. And
Yeah.
Howard Sandler says hello. And thank you, Howard. Um, I love sourdough, and one of the best sourdoughs around. It's a little expensive. It's $6.50. Is again at Whole Foods, and when I get it, and it's still, I got it a couple of months ago now. I bought a loaf, and it was too warm for them to cut, but it
Ah,
smelled so good. You know, they put it through their slicer. So
so it's baked in the store?
yeah, it's baked in the store. They have two varieties. One they do uh, right there in the store from their own starter, and then they have another one that the dough comes in and they bake it there.
Well,
Wow, thank you. We have to look for it. And our favorite sourdough is the one that I make at home.
and sometimes
Well,
it's too
that would be my favorite too. I
sometimes
know
it's too
it.
hard to cut. Also, yeah, we actually we wait until it cools a little before we cut into it.
Yes, we wait. But it's really irresistible, and I haven't made it recently because when I make it, we eat too much bread.
Yes, that's it's funny. And when we got married, I was not a bread eater. Did I eat a lot of bread? And so Carol ate bread, and then I started eating bread. And then Carol started eating ice cream, and I started eating ice cream. Carol weighs less now than when we got married. I can't say the same thing. So let's take a
Well,
look at our shakshuka. I think it's ready. Oh, yes.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think you're right.
a little more of it. A couple
A
more
little
minutes.
more.
Yeah, a couple of minutes.
Yakir thinks a couple more
The
minutes.
one on the
A
left.
couple more minutes? Okay.
Yeah, the yolk on the left, at least on the screen, it's the left. It looks a
Well,
bit
we
soft.
can always try that one.
Yeah.
So we'll try that in a second.
Looks really pretty.
Thank you, Julie. Yeah, it does look pretty. It really does. It smells fabulous. It really is good. And then we're going to top this, and you can top it with chili flakes. You could top it with paprika, cayenne pepper, um, even dried chili. You crumble it up and put it on top of the egg yolk.
Exactly, especially if you didn't add jalapeno.
Already,
If you did, then you want to be careful with those hot
right.
spices. But you can also, if you like, sprinkle a little chopped cilantro on the tomato.
You're right. And guess what I have here again from our friends at Melissa's. I have some cilantro that Carol graciously washed for us, and I'm going to chop it now. My knife skills are not as good as yours, Faye, but
Oh, that's okay. I cook like a home cook. I don't do it real fast. It looks like your cilantro is nice and dry, so it chops easily.
Yeah.
So Carol not only washed it but dried it somehow.
Yes. The advent of paper towels.
Yes.
Good.
That helps a lot. And that's perfect because for cilantro, you don't have to chop it fine because it's tender already.
Yes.
And the stems are edible too. You can certainly chop the stems and add them. So you don't have to take off only leaves.
Oh, I didn't know that. We've always stemmed it. Okay, got it, Carol. I'm going to take one of the eggs out right now. I'm going to take this one out. I'm going to take this one. Ooh.
Yeah, take the company. Oh, yeah, good. Yeah.
Now, I'm going to put this here for you.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And we had some pita, and we heated it up quickly, and I have a piece of pita. I had a spoon. Okay, here we go, folks. I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of the cilantro on top.
Mm-hmm. The cilantro, you can sprinkle more on the tomato and let the egg show.
Ah,
Good.
all right, here we go. And let's see if the egg is runny. Oh, it is.
Yeah. And where do you like to buy pita?
Oh, actually, my favorite place is Zoom Zoom in Westlake Village. They make it.
That's a restaurant, right?
No, it's true.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
a restaurant. You can buy it. This is thin pita, and I like a thicker pita.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And
Sweet.
tomorrow, when we have lunch, we'll have a thicker pita. All right, here we go, guys. This is like sitting on Dusseldorf Street in.
Single.
And
Bon appetit.
and people would say to you, "B'te avon,"
Yeah, you see,
which is like bon appetit in Hebrew.
we are all waiting for the upgrade so that we could taste, not just smell.
Yes, I wish I could. Oh man, excuse me. You guys talk amongst yourselves. Mm. Well, with Faye's help, I've done it again. I really do like my own cooking. Carol, you're going to love this, really. Hey, we're out of time, folks. Will you come back, Fay and Yakir? We
Oh,
do this
sure,
again, right?
Yes.
sure.
We,
This was fun.
I have to tell you both. I am so impressed with you guys. You've written in the LA Times, the papers in Israel, the New York Times. You've got 23 books, 3 languages. What do you, all right, Yakir, I'm going to assume that most of the time you think in Hebrew or English.
Well, we speak English most of the time, but almost as no now more English. At the beginning, it was Hebrew. It was hard to get used to speaking English between us. But
Right.
now, most of the time, finally, we speak English.
And do you think I mean, can you think in French as well as Hebrew, Faye?
Sure.
Yes, especially if I'm thinking about culinary matters.
Yeah.
Listen, I've had so much fun with you guys. I look forward to doing this again. This is a fabulous dish. I can't eat more of it because I got to let Carol share it. Um, this is our dinner tonight, and it'll be great. Julie, thank you very much for watching. Howard and Neil, thank you both for watching. The basic sauce is vegan, and you can put other things in it egg substitutes, falafel, other things, and it is really, really quite tasty. All right, let's talk about next week. We're going to do Indian. Um, about 2 months ago, we were in New York City and we were invited to some friend's house, and they made dish after dish after dish, after dish of Indian food. Most of it was vegan. Uh, a couple of them, one had some chicken, but it was delicious. And we're going to have them cook with us next week. I'm Mark Allen. Have a great week, everybody. Peace out. Bye bye.